Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we dig into sources, notes, all sorts of material, really, and pull out the key insights for you. And today, we're diving into something, well, pretty deep. An ancient text that reveals some really extraordinary, sometimes quite surprising things about spiritual relationships.
That's right. We're focusing today on Jagadananda Pandita's Prema Vivarta. And this isn't just any old text. It's a really profound look at divine love, the spiritual path.
Okay.
And it gives this rare window into a very, very intimate relationship, intense even, between the author, Jagadananda Pandita, and Lord Chaitanya.
So our mission for you today is to unpack what's inside this source. We want to bring out some maybe surprising facts about the absolute truth, what real devotion looks like, and this relationship that honestly kind of defies how we normally think about things.
Yeah, the goal is that by the end, you'll feel really well informed about this specific tradition and maybe, just maybe, have a few aha moments. Could even change how you view love itself.
Right. So to really get into Prema Vivarta, we probably need to start with the main figure, Lord Chaitanya. What does this ancient text tell us about who he was, his identity, his purpose?
Well, what's really striking is how he's depicted, not simply as a historical person, who lived in India about 500 years ago,
Okay.
but as Lord Krishna himself. And this is where it gets incredibly profound. The text says he embodies the ecstatic feelings, the sentiments, and even the physical radiance, the luster of Radharani.
Wow, Radharani, Krishna's most intimate consort.
Exactly.
That's a huge statement, embodying her sentiments and luster. What's the text say about the significance of that? Why appear in that specific form?
Well, it seems his appearance had this twofold purpose, a kind of divine mission, really, that hadn't been seen before.
Okay, twofold.
First, he came to actually experience from the inside the incredible depth of Radharani's love for Krishna. A love so deep, apparently, that even Krishna himself couldn't fully grasp it in his original form.
Huh. So he came to feel what she feels.
Sort of, yes. And second, his mission was to freely give out that divine love. It's called prema to everyone. Just distribute it widely. Something totally new for the age.
Freely distribute divine love.
Yeah. And the text is clear. This identity, it's imperceptible to empiricists. You can't just figure it out by studying or observing materially.
Ah, so not through logic alone.
No. It's revealed only by Lord Krishna's grace. It's something you have to receive spiritually, not deduce intellectually.
Okay. So we have this unique divine appearance. And then the author of this text, Jagadananda Pandita, you mentioned this incredible intimacy between them. Can you describe that relationship a bit more? It sounds unusual.
Oh, it was definitely extraordinary. Their closeness allowed for things the text calls intense, loving quarrels, even fights.
Loving quarrels, fights between a devotee and the Lord.
Yes, from their childhood games in Navadvipa and then later in Jagannath Puri. But here's the absolute key. These weren't like our arguments, not driven by mundane anger or selfishness.
Right, not ego stuff.
Exactly. The text says these acrimonious demeanors came from deep concern and pure divine consciousness. Jagadananda had what's described as a leftist mood, a bit like Satyabhama.
One of Krishna's queens, known for being, well, strong-willed but devoted.
Precisely. Fiercely loving, maybe argumentative sometimes, but always from a place of pure love, a love that isn't afraid to push back, and a genuine selfless care.
That's fascinating. A love that challenges. Can you give an example from the text? You mentioned something about sandalwood oil.
Yes, that's a classic one. Jagadananda saw this pot of expensive sandalwood oil set aside for Lord Chaitanya, but the Lord wasn't using it right then.
Okay.
So Jagadananda just smashed the pot, broke it.
He smashed it. Why? That sounds extreme.
It does. But it wasn't anger in the way we think of it. It showed how intensely he felt that nothing connected to the Lord's service should ever be wasted or neglected. It was almost possessive, but purely out of love, ensuring everything was used for the Lord's pleasure.
Wow. Okay, that reframes it completely.
And another example. He apparently kept trying to persuade Lord Chaitanya to give up his very strict vows as a renunciate.
He wanted him to be less strict.
Yes, but again, not out of defiance. It was purely out of love and worry for the Lord's health and comfort. He just wanted him to take care of himself.
So deep care masked as well, arguing.
You could say that. And what's really telling is that despite Jagadananda's, let's say, explosive nature, the text says Lord Chaitanya would willingly remain under Jagadananda Pandita's influence.
He allowed it, accepted it.
Yes, which just shows the incredible depth and intimacy of their bond. It tells us maybe that real intimacy isn't always smooth sailing. It can be fierce, challenging, even look like conflict, but be rooted in the deepest care.
That really does reshape how you might think about love and disagreement, which brings up a big question. How does the absolute truth work? How can it allow for these apparent contradictions? The text seems to point to different layers.
It does. It explains the absolute truth, manifesting in, primarily, 3 ways. First, as the impersonal Brahman. That's described as Lord Chaitanya's all-pervading bodily glow, or effulgence.
Like a universal light?
Kinda, yes. Second, as the supersoul, or Paramatma. This is seen as Lord Chaitanya's partial expansion, living within the heart of every being.
The inner guide.
Right. And finally, the ultimate source. Lord Krishna himself, who the text identifies as Lord Chaitanya's actual personal identity.
Okay, so Brahman, Paramatma, and then Krishna as the source. It's all him, but different aspects.
Exactly. A progression from the pervasive to the localized to the personal origin.
Which sounds like it ties into that complex philosophical idea, achincha bheda tattva. That's a mouthful.
It is. But the concept is crucial here. It basically means inconceivable, simultaneous oneness and difference.
Inconceivable oneness and difference.
Yeah. Think about the sun and its light. They are one, right? You can't separate them. But they're also distinct. The sunshine isn't the sun itself.
Okay, I think I get that analogy.
So this principle explains how Lord Chaitanya can be Krishna, yet also be distinct in his role and appearance. How the Lord and his energies, his potencies, can be one with him, but also have their own existence. It allows for this amazing complexity within a unified whole.
And what makes these impossible things, like Krishna appearing as Chaitanya, to feel Radharani's love possible? Is there something enabling this?
Yes, the text points to the Hladini Shakti. This is the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. It's the divine force that makes these transcendental realities, which might seem impossible to our minds, actually happen.
The Hladini Shakti, the pleasure potency.
Right. It's what orchestrates these divine paradoxes, you could say. It allows Krishna to become Chaitanya, to taste that specific. It's like the spiritual master key, unlocking these profound divine mysteries that are otherwise beyond our grasp.
These concepts are really profound, but Prema Vivarta isn't just philosophy, is it? It seems very focused on a practical path for people. How does all this translate into actual devotional practice? What's the way forward according to this text?
Well, the absolute central teaching is chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. It's presented as the only means for spiritual perfection in this current age, Kali Yuga.
The only way in this age.
That's what the text stresses. This age is seen as challenging, full of quarrel, so a direct, powerful practice is given, and chanting is said to literally destroy all sins.
Okay, chanting the holy name seems straightforward.
But there's a really important condition mentioned. The text insists that chanting purely, effectively, is only really possible in the company of saintly souls, of other devotees.
So association matters a lot.
Hugely. It's as if you're just chanting among non-devotees. You might just be making sounds, uttering syllables. It's not the real thing, not connecting deeply. So that spiritual association is presented as vital. It helps the name actually work its magic on your heart.
That makes sense. And this connects to another key point, doesn't it? The difference between real renunciation and, well, maybe fake renunciation.
Yes, it draws a sharp contrast. It talks about dry and joyless renunciation, or sometimes called monkey renunciation.
Monkey renunciation.
Yeah, basically giving things up just for comfort, or maybe just to escape material problems, but missing the real spiritual purpose. It's detachment without positive engagement.
Okay, so what's true renunciation then?
True renunciation, called yukta vairagya, is about utilizing matter without attachment in the service of the Lord.
Using things, not just rejecting them.
Exactly. Engaging everything you have, your skills, your resources, whatever, for a divine purpose, but without being personally attached to the results of the things themselves. It's spiritual action, not just material inaction.
That's a very practical distinction.
And linked to this, the text makes a really powerful, quite radical statement for its time. A low-born devotee is superior to a high-born non-devotee.
Wow. So birth, social status, irrelevant compared to sincerity.
Completely. It emphasizes that genuine devotion transcends all those external labels, which is still a potent message. And it gives guidance for everyone, whether you're living in a family situation or as renunciate, outlining duties centered on sincere practice. The path is open to all.
Let's make this even more vivid. The text is full of stories, anecdotes. Can we look at a few that really highlight these principles? There's one about a parrot, right? Chanting Gaura.
Yes, it's a lovely little story. This parrot wouldn't chant the usual Radha Krishna names, but but instead kept chanting Gaura, which is another name for Lord Chaitanya.
And the significance.
This beautifully shows Lord Chaitanya's non-difference from Radha and Krishna. It's the same ultimate reality, just in this specific merciful form for this age. The parrot, maybe through its simple pure heart, just got to recognize that truth.
A parrot's intuition.
And it mirrors the author's own attitude. Jagadananda himself expressed this deep desire to write about Lord Chaitanya's transcendental pastimes, even while feeling he wasn't qualified, constantly weeping in separation.
So humility and longing.
Yes, that drive to serve the story, serve the Lord, despite feeling inadequate, that's shown as a sign of real devotion, wanting to share the divine, even through tears.
Then there's that intense story about Vrindavana, Jagadananda's pain when Lord Chaitanya decided not to go there with him.
Right. That episode shows the sheer depth of their loving connection. Jagadananda's reaction wasn't just disappointment about a canceled trip. It was the agony of feeling separation from his beloved Lord, a raw expression of spiritual longing.
And how the Lord responds to that intensity.
Exactly. It highlights Lord Chaitanya's incredibly merciful nature. He actively reciprocates that depth of feeling. There's another touching story where Jagadananda is found crying by the Ganges River.
Okay.
And Lord Chaitanya personally comes to him, comforts him. It really demonstrates the text's point that the Lord appeared for the sake of benefiting the fallen souls of Kali Yuga. He seeks out his devotees in their distress, shows incredible compassion.
He comes to them. That's powerful. And one more, the Bhiksuka incident, the conversation with a renunciant.
Yes, that one reinforces a key theological point.
Right.
Lord Chaitanya is talking with this renunciant, a Bhiksuka, and the conversation emphasizes that if you truly want to worship Radha and Krishna in their most intimate aspect, you need to approach Lord Chaitanya first. He is presented as the essential gateway to accessing those deeper levels of divine love. It cements his unique position within this specific devotional tradition.
So quite a journey through Prema Vivarta. We've explored some really unique territory. Lord Chaitanya's identity as Krishna experiencing Radharani's love. Jagadananda Pandita's intense, seemingly paradoxical but pure devotion. That whole relationship really challenges norms.
It does.
And then the practical path. Chanting the holy name, the importance of association, and this idea of engaged, true renunciation.
Absolutely. I think the core message, the deeper truth maybe, that comes through this text is how divine love really operates beyond our usual conventional understanding.
Beyond conventions.
Yeah. It's a realm where apparent paradoxes aren't problems. They actually resolve into a kind of perfect harmony. And ultimately, it's grace the Lord's mercy that unlocks it all. It pushes us to look past the surface, doesn't it? Past what we think relationships or reality should look like.
Finding the profound in what seems contradictory. So here's something to maybe mull over after this. If the deepest, most unconditional form of love, as shown here, can actually show up through what looks like contradiction, through fierce devotion, even through conflict, how might rethinking conflict or disagreement in your own important relationships potentially reveal a hidden layer? Maybe a deeper level of affection or care that isn't being expressed in conventional ways.